Hermann Göring, a name synonymous with the opulent excess and brutal power of the Third Reich. He was a man of contradictions, a flamboyant figure who commanded both fear and a strange sort of fascination. His life, a tapestry woven with threads of ambition, corruption, and ultimately catastrophic failure, provides a chilling window into the heart of Nazi Germany. But beyond the public image of the Reichsmarschall, there existed a private world, one centered on his wife, Emmy, and their daughter, Edda. Edda Göring's life, inextricably bound to her father's legacy, offers a unique and often unsettling perspective on the human cost of totalitarian power. Edda Göring's birth in 1938 was not merely a family event. It was a carefully orchestrated spectacle, a propaganda moment designed to reinforce the image of the Göring family as an embodiment of Nazi ideals. The outpouring of congratulations, both domestic and international, underscored the family's elevated status. Some even indulged in messianic comparisons, portraying Edda as a symbol of the Reich's future. The presence of Adolf Hitler as her godfather further cemented her position within the Nazi elite, placing her at the very apex of the regime's social hierarchy. Edda's childhood unfolded in a world of unparalleled luxury. She lived in palatial residences, surrounded by priceless artwork and the trappings of power. She was, in essence, a Nazi crown princess, a figure of almost royal stature. Her father, despite his increasingly demanding role in the war effort, showered her with affection and extravagant gifts, constructing a miniature palace within the grounds of Hall, his opulent estate, a testament to his paternal devotion and his boundless resources. However, the Göring family's privileged existence was not without its undercurrent of tension and rivalry. The opulent lifestyle of the Reichsmarschall bred resentment among some within the Nazi inner circle. Julius Streicher, the notorious editor of Der Stürmer, a newspaper dripping with venomous anti-Semitism, launched a scandalous attack on the Görings, questioning the circumstances of Edda's conception. This audacious act of defiance, driven by personal animosity and political maneuvering, revealed the deep-seated rivalries that simmer beneath the surface of Nazi unity. Göring, enraged by Streicher's insinuation, demanded Hitler's intervention. The Führer, recognizing potential damage to the regime's image, intervened, temporarily stripping Streicher of some of his official positions. This incident, while seemingly a personal feud, illuminated the complex power dynamics and the constant struggle for influence within the Nazi hierarchy. As the shadow of war loomed over Europe, Göring's responsibilities intensified. He became increasingly consumed by military matters, his focus shifting from personal aggrandizement to the strategic demands of the conflict. Yet, even amidst the chaos and destruction, his devotion to Edda remained unwavering. He sought to shield her from the harsh realities of the war, preserving her privileged existence as a symbol of the Reich's supposed invincibility. The eventual collapse of the Third Reich brought a dramatic reversal of fortune for the Göring family. Hermann Göring, once the second most powerful man in Germany, was captured and placed on trial for war crimes and crimes against humanity. Edda and her mother, Emmy, were also briefly detained, their privileged world shattered by the weight of their association with the fallen regime. Edda, a young girl thrust into the harsh realities of post-war Europe, visited her father in prison, expressing her unwavering love and longing for a reunion in the afterlife. Göring, deeply moved by her devotion, faced his impending execution with a mixture of defiance and resignation. However, he cheated the hangman's noose, taking his own life with a cyanide capsule smuggled into his cell, a final act of defiance against the Allied powers. The aftermath of the war presented Edda and her mother with a formidable challenge. They faced social ostracism, their once lavish lifestyle replaced by a struggle for acceptance and financial stability. Emmy Göring's attempts to reclaim stolen artwork and possessions, acquired through her husband's position, were met with resistance, as the world sought to rectify the injustices of the Nazi regime. Edda, despite the weight of her father's legacy, attempted to forge a life for herself. She pursued an education, attended university, and worked in various professions, seeking to establish an identity independent of her father's shadow. However, her connection to the Nazi regime remained an indelible mark, shaping her interactions with the world. In her later years, Edda maintained contact with former Nazi associates, attending questionable political gatherings and engaging in conversations that echoed the ideology of the past. Her association with figures like Winifred Wagner, the granddaughter of composer Richard Wagner and a fervent admirer of Hitler, and Oswald Mosley, the leader of the British Union of Fascists, painted her as a figure clinging to a bygone era, a relic of a dark chapter in history. Despite the overwhelming evidence of her father's crimes, Edda remained fiercely loyal to his memory. She claimed to have only positive recollections of him, portraying him as a loving father and a misunderstood figure. She refused to acknowledge his role in the Holocaust, clinging to a sanitized version of his legacy. The selective memory, perhaps a coping mechanism, perhaps a manifestation of deep-seated denial, further complicated her already controversial public image. Her attempts to secure compensation from the German government, based on her status as the daughter of a former minister, were met with rejection. The authorities, recognizing the moral implications of such a decision, refused to grant her any financial benefits, effectively denying her any official recognition of her father's former position. Edda Göring died in 2018, her life marked by both privilege and isolation. Her burial was shrouded in secrecy, her grave unmarked and its location undisclosed. This final act of anonymity reflected the complex and often contradictory nature of her existence, forever bound to the legacy of her infamous father. Her story serves as a chilling reminder of the enduring consequences of totalitarian power and the human cost of ideological extremism.